Are you ready for some football?
12 years ago, Joe Montana played in his first NFL postseason playoff. The catch by Dwight Clark. Montana then won his first of 4 Super Bowls with the San Francisco 49ers 2 weeks later. The Kansas City Chiefs are now Joe Montana's team, and they are the champions of the AFC West. But today begins the postseason drive to the Super Bowl, and for 37-year-old Joe Montana, the team has changed, but the goal remains the same.
It doesn't matter how many things are in the past, how many you won in the past, but every year the goal is to go to the Super Bowl. The goal is to first make the playoffs and then get to the Super Bowl. And anything less than that, you should feel a little cheated.
The Pittsburgh Steelers face the Kansas City Chiefs in this AFC wild card playoff. I hollered, get back! Let's clear lanes! It's time to get psyched for this playoff game! Hey, are you ready for the football? It's a postseason party! Now this is Big O Hank, and I'm back and I'm ready to get this game started! Now put the teams on the field and get them pumped up right! Cause all my rowdy friends want a playoff fight! Kansas City, Missouri on a bright sunny day. The Missouri River showing the effects of a deep chill here in the heartland. But this is also a city fired and turned on by their Kansas City Chiefs. 77,000 expected at Arrowhead Stadium. Tailgating fans have jammed the parking lot since early this morning as the playoff season is about to begin. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. We are happy you're with us. It is cold here, about 20 degrees, but as we've already discussed, a good day to play football. No wind blowing. Kansas City coming in at 11-5. They have won their first division title, the AFC West, since 1971. They go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are 9-7. They were a division titleist a year ago at 11-5, but Al, they have suffered through the second half of the season. They've lost 2 of their last 3. It's going to be difficult.
They'll go as far as their defense can take them because offensively, Frank, this is a low-risk, low-reward team with Neil O'Donnell at quarterback. Barry Foster, of course, has undergone ankle surgery. Leroy Thompson is their ace running back. But defensively, they finished 3rd in the National Football League. To win today, not only will they have to stop Kansas City, they are going to have to create turnovers. And, of course, to get to the Super Bowl, they'll have to win 3 games on the road, a very daunting task. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, they had a team that rarely made it to the playoffs in the 70s and 80s, but they're regular guests now in the 90s.
They really are, Al. This is the 4th consecutive year that Marty Schottenheimer has taken his Chiefs club into the playoffs, and unfortunately for Kansas City, they've had precious little success. How are they going to change that? Well, they went out and got themselves some experience in the form of Joe Montana and Marcus Allen. Today is the 20th playoff start for Joe Montana. And this Kansas City franchise so believes in Montana and Allen that if they start hot today, if they get this game off to a good start, the rest of the team will surely follow. We're fortunate today to have somebody working the sidelines with us. No stranger to a football field, our ABC colleague, Lynn Swan. What's going on down there, Swanee?
Dan, thank you very much. We're talking about Montana and getting pressure on them. This Steeler defense has initiated some new blitzes for this ball game. They're going to try and come at him from the inside so he can't step up in the pocket. But Montana, they told me, has always had a problem throwing in cold weather. But guess what? Montana, for the first time in his career, is wearing a glove just like this. He tried it for the first time yesterday. I caught passes from him today. He gets great rotation. For a few seconds today, he tried throwing without the glove on the hand. He put it back on. So watch him today. I think he's going to have a good one just throwing the football because he's now confident in how he can grip the football. Frank?
Well, I wondered where you got those gloves, Swanee.
So, Frank, it might be 11:30 in the morning here in Kansas City, but we are ready for some football, and the NFL postseason is underway as the Chiefs receive Gary Anderson to kick off. John Stevens, the former Patriot and Packer, runs it back to the 20-yard line. Rico Mack makes the tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Montana, his 20th postseason game. He is 14-5 in postseason, including 4-0 in the Super Bowl. 15th year in the league. Marcus Allen and Kimball Anders in the backfield. Burden and Davis are the wideouts, and Jonathan Hayes more a part of the passing game than ever, the tight end. Aldzot, Grunhard, Shields, a great-looking rookie who's done a wonderful job, and Sigler up front. Montana to the air on first down, and over the middle, it's incomplete. The pressure was put on by Kevin Green, and he has made a big difference for the Steelers this season. 12.5 sacks, leads the club. Let's take a look at that Pittsburgh defense. A base 3-4. Davidson, Steed, and Evans up front. Then the linebackers, the aforementioned Green, Kirkland, and Chad Brown, a rookie from Colorado in the middle, and Greg Lloyd, their big gun. Woodson and Johnson are the corners. Lake and Perry are the safeties. Rod Woodson was the AP's Defensive Player of the Year. Marcus Allen through the middle. Exploits that hole for a pickup of 4 to the 24-yard line. The safety, Darren Perry, comes up to stop him. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Kansas City.
On the first passing situation, we just might advise you also that we haven't told Rod Woodson and Marty Schottenheimer told us that he anticipated this. Rod Woodson will be locked up with Willie Davis, the speedy wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. D.J. Johnson be working primarily against J.J. Burton.
3rd and 5 with the ball at the 25-yard line on the opening drive of the game. That's Marcus Allen in motion. Montana, that short drop and a quick pass, and it's knocked down by Dion Figures, their top draft choice from Colorado, who comes in the nickel. And so the Chiefs are 3 and out, and Barker comes in to kick.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers anticipating that it's going to be a short passing game to start this thing with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are smothering everybody in that 5 to 8 yard range. And the next time the Kansas City Chiefs get the football, I think it'd be well advised to stretch the field a little bit. Send somebody deep. The Steelers are hovering close to the line.
Brian Barker kicking. Rod Woodson back to receive it. Woodson takes it at the 29-yard line. And Woodson comes back the other way. And Rod, who must have run 70 yards, nets 3. A 46-yard kick, and Woodson takes it back to the 34-yard line.
Only 3 yards, but a lot of fun to watch.
He'd have lost about 10 yards if it wasn't for Carnell Lake that came back with a big block.
Neil O'Donnell, 4th year out of Maryland, bothered all year with tendonitis of the elbow and a shoulder bruise, but missed only 1 start down on opening day. Hodge and Thompson, the running backs. Graham and Stone, the wideouts. Eric Green is the big guy, their leading receiver, the tight end. Jackson Love, Dawson to the Pro Bowl, Hasselrig, a former Pro Bowler, and Searcy up front. And this is Leroy Thompson, and that's a play you'll see more than once today. They like to keep it on the ground. Their wide receivers are very ordinary. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Kansas City's defensive unit. Derek Thomas playing in a down position this year, so it's a base 4-3. Smith led the league in sacks with 15. Phillips and Saliamua in the middle. Rogers, Simeon, and March are the linebackers. Albert Lewis having a terrific year. Jay Taylor on the other side. Bayless and Ross. Kevin, the longtime cornerback, was turned into a free safety in midseason. Double tight end set, 2nd and 7. The catch is made by Jeff Graham, and he has the game to nickel. First down, takes it to the 48-yard line, tackled there by Jay Taylor.
Pittsburgh wastes no time going right against Jay Taylor, who has been the replacement for Dale Carter, the #1 draft pick from a year ago, out with a broken arm. The first pass they throw, they work against number 27, Jay Taylor. Came in a trade from Phoenix. They like him here at Kansas City, but he probably is not the good man-to-man cover that Dale Carter is.
Green sets up on the right side. No score early first quarter. And here's Thompson going nowhere. Stopped 2 yards back of the line of scrimmage by Derek Thomas.
I think Derek Thomas likes to start a game off like that, making a big play on a running play. He's very sensitive to being criticized as a one-dimensional player. We've got a Kansas City Chief down on the field. That's Merrill Hodge. But Derek Thomas is so sensitive to being labeled as nothing more than a speed guy from outside. Look at him fight off the block of the tight end, gets upfield, and makes the big hit for loss. Good play by Thomas.
Hodge down, injury timeout.
Derek Thomas has already made the tackle here on Thompson. Here's Merrill Hodge, and watch what happens to him as he's hit by Tracy Rogers. Hodge knows the play's over, and Rogers just comes in and bangs Hodge down, and Hodge goes off the field. But as far as Merrill Hodge was concerned, the play was over, and he never saw that one coming.
Hodge walked off unaided, so it's 2nd and 11, and O'Donnell gets sacked at the 40-yard line. The safety blitz as Kansas City sent Martin Bayless in there, and this has been a huge problem of late for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've given up 34 sacks over their last 8 games.
41 for the season, Al, and on a 2nd and long, you could just go to the bank with the fact that Kansas City and Marty Schottenheimer, with his defensive background, is going to come with the blitz. Pittsburgh, once again, didn't pick it up, and now they are in deep trouble once again. Marty Schottenheimer with that defensive background.
3rd and 17. Hodge is back in out of the shotgun. Under pressure. Hodge on the middle screen. Gets into Kansas City territory. And Merrill Hodge breaks it down to the 27-yard line. So the man who was shaken up spends one play on the sidelines, comes back in, and they convert on 3rd and 17 as Albert Lewis makes the tackle, a 32-yard gain.
Well, now that should not work as well as it did. There was no blitz, a straight 4-man rush, a little screen underneath. Kansas City playing in a zone. Somebody should have been able to pick it up. Jaime Fields is looking right at Hodge, but Hodge, who over the past few years has become a playoff player. Performing well, getting the first down out of deep trouble.
Dermonte Dawson with a key block, the center to string him. First down at the 27-yard line. Here's Thompson behind Hodge. He cuts inside and picks up 2. Martin Bayless making the tackle with 10:35 to go in the opening quarter and no score.
This is good play calling on the part of the Pittsburgh offensive people. Ron Earhart, their offensive coordinator. A nice mix of both passing and running. Kansas City and a lot of people expecting Pittsburgh, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to do it rushing the football. They've had a lot of success throwing the ball so far, and it's been a very nice mix on this drive.
On 2nd and 7. O'Donnell with a deep drop and great protection and finds the open man. It's Jeff Graham. He takes it to the 15-yard line. Tackled by Bayless. Another Pittsburgh first down.
Oh, and there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever on Neil O'Donnell. And he is an incredibly accurate passer. He does not throw the interceptions. You give him that kind of time. He's not so mobile. He doesn't move around very well. But if you just let him stand back there, he is going to get the completion. Jeff Graham comes underneath the linebacker, breaks out into the open, and O'Donnell with all the time he needed to get the delivery.
Dave Adolph, the Kansas City defensive coordinator, watching his team trying to stiffen on Pittsburgh's first drive of the game. And this is Hodge picking up 5, taking it to the 10-yard line. By the way,
I think their left tackle, Al, John Jackson, looked like he got caught up after this play is over. And he's limping badly. Sorry to interrupt, but this is a key member of their offensive line. Dermonte Dawson, their center, is probably their best player, but Jackson is right behind him. And if he can't continue trying to block a guy like Derek Thomas and Neil Smith from the outside, there he gets his right leg caught from behind underneath. We got to pay attention to this. This could be critical for Pittsburgh.
He looks all right, though, Dan.
9th play of the drive. It's 2nd and 5. The fake, and then O'Donnell comes back to the near side to Adrian Cooper. Touchdown. Their big tight end is Eric Green. Cooper is the other guy, and the other guy has just scored the first touchdown of postseason play.
Well, he's only 10 pounds lighter than the 280-pound Eric Green. They love to go to both of them. Eric Green, of course, the more celebrated one, but Adrian Cooper, 6'5", 270-pounder, nobody in the coverage. and hurdles the last possible defender, Jay Taylor. I'll tell you, that is a pretty agile big man, Dan.
That's not only the first touchdown of the postseason, it's Adrian's first touchdown catch of the season. He hasn't had one since last year, so how sweet that must feel.
Big third down screen to Hodge, sets it up, 7-0 Pittsburgh.
Good look at the play action, and it is well executed. The fake off to the right, and then all the way back cross field. Frank, the little play action confused me.
Like an echo. Lonnie Marks, 51, if you saw it, he got caught inside on that. It was his man.
Gary Anderson to kick off. Chiefs getting it for the second time in the game. John Stevens from the 2, back out to the 22-yard line. ABC's wild card playoff game from Kansas City is being brought to you by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. Delta Airlines. You'll love the way they fly. And the people at Nike who encourage you to just do it. What Pittsburgh did on that first drive in converting that 3rd and 17 was something that hasn't happened this year to Kansas City. The Chiefs all year long never yielded a first down on 3rd and 15 or longer. But they did there, and then Pittsburgh cashes in on the 10-yard pass to Cooper. And Montana on first down, too high for Marcus Allen. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
When the strength of your team is your defense, and your head coach is a former defensive coordinator, everything is geared around that defense. And when the opponent takes the ball early in the ball game, marches it down the field, and scores quickly, psychologically that can be a real blow to your team. And right now, Kansas City, in somewhat of a state of wonderment, is what Bill Cowher's Pittsburgh Steelers have done to them early. This is a team that believes and relies on defense.
O'Donnell was 4 for 4 on that first drive. Montana is 0 for 3. And here's Allen exploiting a hole. And a first down. The Chiefs first out to the 40-yard line. Greg Lloyd makes the tackle. 17-yard gain for Marcus.
And the wily, crafty veteran with good running, Marcus Allen, who has meant so much to this Kansas City Chiefs team, lost a little in the shadow of Joe Montana, but he has really reemerged as a genuine star. Once again, now watch the little move to the outside, the plant of the left foot. Maybe the acceleration is not what it used to be, but there's still enough of it that he is a very effective runner, a very heady runner.
7:55 left, first quarter, 7-0 Pittsburgh. Here's Allen on first down, picking up 2. Marcus to the 42. What they've been doing with Marcus of late is resting him a lot. He hasn't played much over the past couple of weeks at Minnesota and last week against Seattle, as Schottenheimer has primed him for the playoffs. In postseason history, yards per carry, minimum 100 carries, nobody's been better than Marcus Allen. 5.75, a spectacular average. Remember, the league average normally is about 4. This year, 3.9. 2nd and 8, the pass is a little underthrown and incomplete, intended for J.J. Burton, who was covered by Woodson.
Well, right now, you've got to say to yourself, how are these gloves that Joe Montana is wearing, how are they working so far?
You know, you touched on something a little earlier, too, Dan. Maybe they should be thinking a little more about stretching that Pittsburgh defense, because Montana, in the last 7 games, has not thrown a completion over 33 yards, and the Steelers are up there. They're playing them tight. They're jamming the receivers, and it's going to be difficult to throw underneath. That's where he'd like to throw, but it's going to be difficult.
Well, he got hit on his first attempt, so you can't take that in for anything meaningful. But since then, the ball has been high, it's been low, it's been all around.
3rd down and 8. And Montana this time throws it out of bounds, so he's been high, low, and wide.
All right, it's time to take off the gloves, Joe.
Yep. Yes, you're right.
I don't care how good they felt yesterday or even today, and how good it felt to you, Lynn Swan, on the sidelines. If you're not used to doing something, it's awkward and difficult. And when you play as many years as he has, you're 37 years old. I don't think you start with new toys.
When you've started 19 playoff games without gloves, I'm not sure that the 20th is the right time to do it. Of course, I'm speaking from all my wonderful quarterbacking experience.
Right. And your playoff experience.
Oh,
Here's Barker. Sending it down to the 14-yard line. Hey,
I see.
we cover the earth here. What can I tell you?
The gloves are off up here, too, right?
For Green Bay, it's a matter of revenge. For Detroit, there's no place like Dome. Arch rivals collide in Game 2 of our doubleheader next on ABC.
Monday lineup, day 1, begins the evening, and then Peter Falk stars in a brand new Columbo movie. William Shatner guests in Butterfly in Shades of Gray. That's Monday, right here on ABC. About 20 degrees in Kansas City, but bright sunshine, cloudless sky. 7-0 Steelers. They have it at the 14-yard line. And this is Thompson taking it out to the 24-yard line. Barry Foster, their key guy last year, but we saw him on a Monday night in mid-year injure his ankle, subsequent surgery. And thus it is Thompson now, their feature back. Pittsburgh at Kansas City, the longest current streaks, most wins on the road versus an opponent. Buffalo's won 7 at New York. The Saints have won 7 in Anaheim, so have the 49ers. And Pittsburgh has won 6 games in Kansas City. The last time Pittsburgh beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, it was at Old Municipal Stadium. First and 10 from the 25. O'Donnell, who was very sharp on that first drive, throws this one too high, intended for Jeff Graham, and the coverage was very good. Jay Taylor right there with him.
Once again, though, good protection for O'Donnell. That was just fine coverage on the part of Jay Taylor. O'Donnell, again, is not active back there in the pocket. He needs to be protected, and he got it once again. Just good coverage and forced him to throw it away.
This is a vaunted Kansas City pass rush. There's Sally Amua in the middle. Nothing but a power rush, then a spin. But he's working against the class center in the NFL, and that's number 63, Dermonte Dawson. There's nobody better in the game right now.
Second and 10, Thompson in motion, 6:13 to go in the quarter. Merrill Hodge out to the 29-yard line. It'll be third down and about 5. Lonnie Martz makes the tackle.
Again, a good mix by Ron Earhart. That's him in the middle. And, of course, we saw him call one of the almost perfect games early in the year when the Steelers beat Buffalo 23-0, mixing it up beautifully. He's been around a long time. He's seen it all, 37 years as a coach, and here is the youngster that he works under, 36-year-old Bill Cowher.
Third and a long 4. O'Donnell operates from the shotgun throws. Catch is made up at the 38-yard line by Ernie Mills, his first catch of the day, and another Pittsburgh first down.
Good concentration by Mills. That's the kind you go back to the huddle and you look at O'Donnell and say, just a little lower, please. I want to play a little more in my lifetime.
Neil Smith, I think, complaining that he was held. All defensive linemen complained that they were held. Another example of good pass protection, and that was a just superb catch with the ball way behind it. Look at that. That is sensational work by Mills.
From the 37-yard line, here's Thompson swinging by Thomas and then running smack into Kevin Ross coming up in the secondary. Ball loose, but the play is dead.
If you were to draw up a tackle and illustrate it, that's exactly what it would look like. The one that Kevin Ross just put on right there. It's going to be coming at us here on the near side. It is a perfect shoulder tackle, and Thompson will stop immediately. That is where forward progress halts at the moment of impact. Good work by Ross.
Ross missed last week with a hip injury. He's obviously 100%.
On second and 8. O'Donnell throws it away. Good coverage that time because the Chiefs had sent a couple of linebackers. Tracy Rogers was chasing him. The coverage was there, though, and O'Donnell throws it away. Third down and 8.
So right about that coverage. They picked up the blitz. Good protection for O'Donnell. He kind of ambled out to the right, still couldn't find the open receiver. Good coverage back there, number 51 for Kansas City, Lonnie Martz.
With the state of the Chiefs secondary, I don't think they want to gamble very much with a lot of all-out blitzing and force those guys into single coverage back there. It's kind of a quandary for the Chiefs.
Third down and 8. Thomas gets double teamed, and the pass is knocked down by Al Albert Lewis in his 11th year, and Marty Schottenheimer telling us yesterday he's never played better.
Well, he's got 38 career interceptions. He has been to the Pro Bowl 4 times, and having just an outstanding year in this, his 11th season, and he gets away with a lot of things, too, because he's been around. He's done it so often. That time he might have slipped his hand in there with look at the left arm, working on the hip, but he hides it well enough. Fine play.
Mark Royals to kick. Damon Hughes, a rookie from Iowa, back to receive it because Dale Carter is hurt. And from the 10, Hughes brings it back to the 24. Chiefs get it there. 4 minutes to go. First quarter. AFC wild card game. 7-0 Pittsburgh.
Well, they say that most of the heat leaves your body through the head. That's certainly the case with Leon Searcy sitting on the Pittsburgh sideline. And there are the gloves worn at the beginning of this game by Joe Montana, who's decided to go it barehanded.
He has not completed a pass. He was 0 for 5 with the gloves. And without them, well, he's 0 for 1.
Well, he should have been 1 for 1. It was a little high, but certainly catchable by McNair. Take it back, that's J.J. Burden.
Ordinarily sure-handed J.J. Burden. A little more than you would expect Montana to have on that ball, though he has a great underneath touch, and that time he had just a little bit on it.
One thing about those gloves, Dan Marino doesn't have to worry about Montana taking his commercial away from him.
Because we're already past the holiday season anyway.
Right.
0 for 6, numbers you don't normally associate with Joe Montana.
Second and 10 from the 25. Steelers leading 7-0 late in the first quarter. And that's dropped. Willie Davis was there, and Montana now 0 for 7. Rod Woodson with the coverage.
Could have been caught by Willie Davis, but fine coverage on Woodson, who is shadowing Willie Davis around the field. Montana with fine protection. Again, keeping the passes high percentage, throwing underneath, and drawing the type of coverage you'd expect. If the Steelers have been watching Montana, they are aware that principally he has been an underneath and a finesse passer, high percentage stuff.
Third down and 10. We saw Kevin Green eyeing the snap, and we've got a whistle. Our first of the day. Keith Cash was moving, the tight end. The referee today is Gary Lane.
False start, offense. Number 89, prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Pete Cash, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, in the double tight end situation. We talked about it earlier that in the last 7 games he hasn't had one over 33 yards. That might have a lot to do with his outside receivers too, who are really not capable of breaking big stuff.
Third and 15. Montana guns one for a first down. His first completion to Willie Davis. And Joe took a hit. It was Donald Evans who came roaring in to knock him down.
That one he was right on target. Took a big shot from Donald Evans, but Willie Davis against a Steeler zone this time. Montana read the zone beautifully, laid it in right where he had to, and paid the price.
When Evans started right up the middle, Montana took that hit flush right after he threw the football, and his ribs were exposed. Joe's right arm had crossed over, and he took the helmet right in the right ribs by Donald Evans. And not only that, then driven into the ground by Evans.
And he will have to come out for at least one play. There's an injury timeout right now as Dave Craig loosens up.
Well, but a good look at the read that Montana had. He had to hold on to the ball. Bill Davis cleared the underneath man. As you can see, they're in the zone, and a good catch on the part of Willie Davis.
It's a good thing he was that open, guys, because any sort of a hit while he's trying to gain control of that football would have jarred it loose. And Montana looks bad as he comes to the sidelines. He does not appear to be full of vim and vigor. Well, and here comes Craig.
As you know, he has missed a lot of time this year. In fact, he took only 56% of the snaps this season, and Craig took the other 44%.
And Montana doesn't exactly have fond memories of the last time he was in a playoff game. Against the New York Giants, it was the shot by Leonard Marshall that broke Joe's hand and all sorts of other problems.
And then, in effect, he didn't play for 2 more seasons because of the elbow and back problems. And we've got flags. Oh, we have 4 flags because of a little skirmish between Hayes and D.J. Johnson. 4 flags came in.
Well, Hayes was involved earlier. Jonathan Hayes, a lightning rod early on here in this ball game. A guy who's really blossomed as a receiver for Kansas City. Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday he's really become a much better receiver than he ever thought possible.
Well, that's because it never went to him. And when Paul Hackett brought the West Coast offense in, the tight end is such a key part of that offense. And Jonathan Hayes, his largest number of receptions in a given year were 9. He's 24 this year.
But I think his point there, Frank, was that as they are laying out this offense and wondering how big a role is the tight end going to play.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 44. He has been ejected.
Whoa! That hurts.
First down.
That hurts your team. Get ejected. He is one of the fine cornerbacks.
I think this is a request for an explanation.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened when 4 flags are thrown. I suspected that it might be a little bit more than your normal unsportsmanlike conduct or personal foul penalty.
An irate cower and a jubilant crowd at Arrowhead, and I'm sure a very upset D.J. Johnson that he's out of here.
Well, D.J. Johnson is a guy who, in effect, helped Pittsburgh get here today because last week as Cleveland was driving at the end of the game, he broke up 2 passes in the end zone where Cleveland was attempting to tie it and send it into overtime. And now Johnson's been thrown out.
And he's one of the better cornerbacks in this game. You don't hear that much about him because of Rod Woodson. He gets all the action over on the other side, and he is a fine performer. They will miss him.
Well, whatever he did, which was way downfield, let's keep in mind that it was seen by lots of people, all of whom simultaneously threw their flags. So this was not an isolated case of just one official seeing something and having to stand alone with it. Everybody saw it.
It's a first down at the 43-yard line. Deion Figures, the rookie, the #1 draft choice. Baptism by fire now. Huge hole through the middle, and breaking it down to the 27-yard line is Kimball Anders.
Kenny Wolf, our producer, is telling us that we're being told that away from the ball, D.J. Johnson kicked one of the Kansas City players. We're assuming it was Jonathan Hayes that kicked him in the head. And that, you don't even get to stay on the bench. But D.J. Johnson heads for the locker room.
So far away from the play, we didn't even have the coverage on it. I mean, there's absolutely no call for it. That really hurts your football team.
D.J. Johnson's going to be a free agent after this season. A man desperately hoping his Steelers club wins so he can play again next week.
At the 27, 2:25 to go in the quarter. Marcus Allen gets wrapped up after a pickup of about 4. Levant Kirkland making the tackle. 7-0. The Steelers on top. If Pittsburgh wins, they would go to Buffalo next Sunday, or make it that's the Saturday game.
Look at Johnson. He's going up the tunnel. As you walk up the tunnel here at Arrowhead Stadium, the fans are right there, and can't speculate as to what happened while he's walking up that tunnel. It doesn't pay to get in any sort of a verbal battle with the fans in the stands. Especially not when you're a target. They can throw something on you from there.
2nd and 6, and Dave Craig, the play fake, and a great catch made in the end zone. J.J. Burton for the touchdown.
Oh, and what a number J.J. Burton put on Rod Woodson. A drive to the inside, a pump fake by Dave Craig, a plant of the left foot, a break to the outside. It's absolutely a classical zig-out move by Burton. Woodson has been known to go for this kind of action on a receiver before. He's very aggressive, number 26. He's very quick. Look at the move to the inside. The left foot planted. Woodson totally turned around, and then Burton with a spectacular catch because he had to flip to the outside to bring it in. That is beautiful.
How great is that? There it is coming right at us. Boy, and you are so right, Frank. It does not get any better than that with the receiver making the break to the post and then back to the corner.
Lowry. Wild series. The ejection, the injury to Montana. Craig comes in, Burton the catch, and we're tied at 7.
We'll give you a look here at what D.J. Johnson reacted to. Some sort of liquid is sailing out of the stands. You see it right there, pelting the entire group that's taking them off the field. DJ, the wise thing there, I know they're throwing stuff on you. That's going to happen. Just expedite your departure. Get up the tunnel and get out. And Rod Woodson, the guy who really has to pick up the slack now in the Steelers secondary, feeling a little warm here on a very cold day as he was scorched pretty bad by J.J. Burton.
1:39 remaining in the first quarter. 7-7. Woodson and Dwight Stone are back to receive. Nick Lowry to put it in the air. It's a short kick. Woodson from the 12. Back to the 24. Report from the Chiefs bench. Joe Montana simply had the wind knocked out of him. Will come back. Kansas City drive, meanwhile, helped along by the D.J. Johnson penalty. It would have been 2nd and 12 instead of 1st and 10, 75 yards. 7 plays. J.J. Burton, the 23-yard touchdown reception from Dave Craig.
I think it says a little something about the quality quarterbacking they have here in Kansas City. Dave Craig is not your average backup quarterback.
67,000 yards between them. That's not bad.
No.
O'Donnell, the fake on first down. Backpedal, sets up the screen. Merrill Hodge, who broke one earlier, is out of bounds up at the 34-yard line, very close to a first down. Martin Bayless running him out.
Well, you don't know how long it'll continue, but in the early going, this first quarter, the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive game plan is set up beautifully. Ron Earhart, the veteran offensive coordinator, they come with the screen when you get Kansas City Chiefs dropping off, and it works. They picked up the blitz. They're giving plenty of protection to Neil O'Donnell, just doing a fine job thus far.
This after they'd gone the last 7 games of the regular season without scoring a point in the first quarter. Stone in motion. On 1st and 10, Thompson goes next to nowhere. He is wrapped up by Darren Mickle. And that was a 2nd and short. And that should be enough as Gary Lane takes a look to move the 6. It is a first down.
Well, the one thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers have seen so far is a good start by their offensive line. There was some early pressure on Montana, but since then, their run blocking has been crisp. Their pass protection has been solid. This is really a good-looking unit, and they have gotten off to a good start.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Another screen, this time to Thompson, but he can barely get going. Tracy Simeon is there to knock him down after a gain of a yard on what figures to be the final play of the opening quarter. Bill Cowher, completing his 2nd season, took the Steelers to the playoffs last year, but they were knocked out by Buffalo. Now they come in as the 6th seed. And at the end of the first quarter, it's Pittsburgh 7, Kansas City 7. Back we come from Arrowhead after this commercial message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is ABC.